How you guys doing? I've been getting a couple of questions. I've been getting a couple of questions over and over again, and instead of just answering them in the comments, I thought I'd make a video answering. Well, I was just going to answer this one question. I decided maybe there's some other questions I would answer. The one question I was going to answer is why in my videos am I cranking the steering wheel back and forth when I'm turning the engine over? And basically, the answer is on these new generation and the generation 2 tractors, the hydraulic pumps on these things really produce a lot of pressure. Hydraulic systems are very, very advanced, far superior than any other brands back in. And it takes a bit of horsepower to turn them over, even at just turning slow, like the starter cranking the engine over. And when you turn the steer wheel back and forth like that, it lessens the pressure that the pump of the starter turn it over faster. Uh-oh, the dogs are taking off after a groundhog. See a cloud of dust over there? I guess it's a false alarm though. Well, it is kind of hard to, the groundhog sees them coming from a ways away, but anyway. Don't go too far, boys! Anyway, back to the answer to the question. The turn the steering wheel back and forth relieves the hydraulic pressure, enables the starter to turn the engine over quicker. And we had one particular tractor, I think it was the 2840, that, I don't know, was just perpetually hard to turn over fast enough to get it started. I don't know why, whether we had cheap batteries, I don't know. It just always was a chore to get it turned over like it should. And we've either found out or discovered or was told to try turning the steering wheel back and forth to relieve that hydraulic pressure. And it would take care of the problem and start up every time easy. Starter would just turn the engine over, not trying to pump hydraulic pressure. So it just got to be a habit. Every time I start a tractor, I'd do that. It makes it easier on your starter and everything anyhow. So I might look like a goon doing it, but there's a reason for it. But let's face it, I'm used to looking like a goon most of the time anyway. So anyhow, that's pretty much it. Well, them dogs are all the way down there in the corner of the field. Yeah, they're running back now. But anyway, and then some people was asking, pardon, some people were inquiring why my tractors have a narrow front instead of a wide front. Well, the type of farming that I'm doing, which, let's face it, at this point, it's much. Here they come. Coming back. We just got some small fields here and there, and like I say, this farm was set up when they were farming with horses, and tractors with these narrow fronts just much more maneuverable. I was used to them on Poppin' Johnny, and I mean, we had, of course, the 2840 and the 2020 that we used before that. They were wide fronts, and they were fine. I don't know. I just if I was doing a lot of tillage and a lot of big fields, of course, I'd have a larger tractor, a mechanical front drive, you know, so it'd definitely be a wide front. But I don't know. I think I like to look at the narrow fronts, and they're more maneuverable, and I think that 40-30 narrow front's pretty cool. One of these days I want to have a 42-30 narrow front. Even if I have to find one of the older ones where you could unbolt the wide front and just put your narrow front on it. At least I'd like to. I won't say I will. Don't want Randy to say you want to give God a laugh, tell him your plans. He'll change them around. But anyway, that answers that question. Let's see what other questions. I've had some questions of how in the world, if I move, am I going to get all this stuff down to Tennessee? I've had some friends volunteer to have a convoy of diesel pickups and gooseneck trailers going down there and make a couple trips. And it would take a long time. I'm not going to take everything, but you know me, I'm taking a lot. And one fellow asked, why don't I get rid of my junky old equipment and get into the 21st century, leave the 1800s behind? I think the answer to that is pretty self-explanatory. Something interesting happened, not while I was filming, but I was tearing some hay, and you wouldn't think that pin would jump out. It wasn't on rough ground, but that pin jumped out. And I know I should have put a pin that has a clip on it through there, but I didn't at that time. And anyhow, I was going along in fifth gear, and somehow it worked its way out, and turned around and looked behind me, and that had come unhooked, and the tongue had dug into the ground and had flipped that thing right over on top of itself. It was completely upside down, sitting backwards, and I flipped her back over and hooked her up and come on up the field. I do got to fix this somehow or another. It messed up that, it tore that, I guess, when this wing must have hit the ground first or something. It tore that out. I got to fix that, but I ain't going to do it on Sunday afternoon. Just ain't going to do it. You'd be surprised to know that that is not the first time that's happened. First time it's happened this year, but several years ago it happened too. But that was on rough ground. I guess it did bend my, yeah, it bent that a little teeny bit. Yeah, I got to straighten that. Yeah, luckily the damage was small. I was able to, that did hold it in the right position to make the last round, and then I come on down here, which I pulled it back. But small amount of damage. Glad it wasn't worse. Telling on myself. Telling on myself. Can you believe that? And this here, the 40-30 there front. By golly. Yeah, this here's my why don't I have a canvas on my cutter? Well, I did when we first bought it. What was left of the canvas, I bought it used, and it had what was left of a canvas on there. It had a big framework going around, but it was not much of it there, and I was just using my 40-30, what has the cab on it that I need to repair, and it got torn up, and I just it was a problem anyhow, that bar being on there, and it was catching on the orchard grass or the rye. I would cut rye down and cut that for straw. It would, when it was real tall, it would hang up on stuff. So I just took it all off and got rid of it. And I had a, like I said, I had the tractor with the cab on it anyway, and but then when that had issues, I had to go ahead and use this. But I did try putting that canvas back on there, and it, like I say, it worked for a little while, but it was just so much was catching on it because my hay was so tall and the rye that I took it off, and then I just built this little plexiglass thing around here. Don't particularly like to have it on there, but it ain't hurting anything. So, and I didn't buy the plexiglass. That come out the dumpster when they was finishing up with all that stupid COVID foolishness. There was a lot of them plexiglass shields thrown away, I'm sure. And there's one of them there. It come in handy. So some people ask how many tractors do I got. I don't know, it's 30 or 40 probably. Probably almost half of them run. So, but anyway, I'll think of some other questions that have been asked. One fellow in the comments said, "Why don't you go get some dental work and learn to talk?" But, here's my nice 620. I love my old two bangers. Yes, indeed. They's older than me. Of course, I still think I'm a young man. See that here? That there's some ethanol that done separated. The fuel I get, the old gas, it don't have much ethanol in it, but what does get in it separates, and then I just dump it out of my sediment bowl and throw her on the ground. Shocking, I say, throwing it on the ground. I'm going to go out front and disc a little bit just for fun. Turn my steering wheel while I'm starting her up, and old 4010. And it doesn't do anything for the 2-cylinders, so don't try that. But I gotta smooth that ground down some. It's kind of, I wish we'd get some rain, kind of make the dirt come together a little bit. But anyway, I'll catch up with you after I do the disking. First, I gotta hook up the battery. Always unhook that battery because it's a slow draw on it. Hey, I'm out here cross disking to get this field leveled up a little bit. Disking diagonal to the way it was plowed and the way I had disced it. Cross disking is a normal and accepted practice, and not to be confused with cross dressing, which is a sick perversion. But anyway, first I'll disc with the direction of the plow, and then I'll disc 45-degree angle this way, and then probably or disc a 45-degree angle that way. I'll let you see some of the finished product. It looks like the dirt is starting to get where I recognize it. This was always real nice, soft, loamy ground.